One day your car will make its final journey, and it will not simply vanish. It gets taken apart with surprising precision, and roughly 80% of it comes back as something else entirely. It is the other 20% that nobody has solved. When a car reaches the end of its life, it does not go straight into a crusher, despite what films tend to show. It arrives at an authorized treatment facility, and the first stage is not destruction at all. It is called depollution, and it is essentially surgery. Before anything can be crushed, every hazardous thing inside the vehicle has to be removed carefully, one system at a time. A modern car is full of liquids and chemicals that must never be allowed to reach the ground. So technicians drain it completely. Engine oil, gearbox oil, coolant and antifreeze, brake fluid, power steering fluid, whatever fuel is left in the tank, even the washer fluid. Air conditioning refrigerant is captured separately, because releasing it straight into the atmosphere would be both illegal and environmentally damaging. The battery comes out since it is full of acid and heavy metals. The tires come off because rubber behaves badly in a shredder and has its own recycling stream. And then there is a stage most people never think about: the airbags. Remember, each one is a small explosive charge. They must be safely deployed or removed before the car can be handled, or they can detonate later inside the machinery. Next comes the harvest. Anything worth more intact than melted gets pulled off and sold. Doors, panels, mirrors, seats, alternators, starters, and whole engines and gearboxes flow into the used parts market, keeping other cars on the road. But the single most valuable piece is often something the size of a loaf of bread, sitting under the floor: the catalytic converter. Inside it sit tiny quantities of platinum, palladium, and rhodium, precious metals that at times have traded for more per gram than gold. That one component is exactly why catalytic converter theft became an epidemic. Even a dead car is carrying a small fortune underneath it. The tires and the glass take their own separate journeys, and both are trickier than they look. A tire cannot simply be melted down, because vulcanized rubber does not go back to being raw rubber. Instead, tires are shredded into crumb rubber, which ends up under running tracks, in playground surfaces, in road asphalt, or burned as fuel in cement kilns. Car glass is equally awkward. Windscreens are laminated, meaning 2 layers of glass bonded to a plastic film in between, and that sandwich has to be split apart before any of it can be reused. It is fiddly, it is expensive, and for a long time most of it simply was not worth recovering at all. Only now, stripped and drained, does the shell meet the machine everyone pictures. The hulk is flattened, then fed into an enormous hammer mill shredder. Inside, heavy hammers spinning at high speeds smash the entire car body into fist-sized fragments in a matter of seconds. What goes in as a recognizable vehicle comes out the other end as a torrent of anonymous metal confetti, and from that moment on, nothing about it looks like a car anymore. Then the separation begins, and it is genuinely clever. The fragment stream passes under powerful electromagnets that lift out everything ferrous, which is mostly steel, the skeleton of the car. This alone recovers roughly 75 to 85% of the vehicle's weight as clean, recyclable metal. What the magnets miss goes through eddy current separators, which use rapidly changing magnetic fields to physically fling non-magnetic metals like aluminum and copper sideways out of the stream. The steel is sold to mills, melted, and rolled into new products. Some of it genuinely does become another car. Your old vehicle may already be driving around again as somebody else's. But now we reach the part of the story that does not have a happy ending. After the metals are gone, roughly 20 to 25% of the original car remains, and the industry has a strangely gentle name for it: fluff. Formally, it is called automotive shredder residue. It is a filthy, tangled mixture of plastics, foam, rubber, carpet, fabric, glass, and wiring insulation, all shredded together into a material with no clean identity at all. Worse, it is usually contaminated, carrying traces of heavy metals like lead, cadmium, zinc, and copper, along with oil residues. It is too mixed to easily sort and too polluted to simply burn or bury without care. In much of the world, the honest answer is that a large share of it goes to landfill. And here is the twist that makes this genuinely difficult. Cars keep getting lighter, because lighter cars burn less fuel and emit less carbon. Engineers achieve that by replacing steel with plastics, composites, and bonded materials. But every one of those substitutions makes the car harder to take apart at the end. The very design choices that make a vehicle cleaner to drive for 15 years quietly make it dirtier to dispose of on its final day. Efficiency at one end of a car's life is quietly creating waste at the other. So the truth about scrapping a car is genuinely impressive and genuinely humbling at the same time. The automobile is one of the most recycled consumer products on the planet. Around 80% of it by weight comes back into the world as something useful. Almost nothing else you own is dismantled that thoroughly. But that last fifth, the fluff, is a small monument to how hard real recycling actually is. Every car ever built eventually leaves a pile behind that we still do not know quite what to do with. So the next time you see a wrecked car stacked in a scrapyard, it is worth remembering that it is not really rubbish sitting there. It is a carefully sorted pile of steel, aluminum, copper, and precious metals, waiting to be melted back into the world, plus one stubborn heap of fluff that represents the limit of what recycling can currently reach. Subscribe for more of the hidden machinery behind the things you use every day.